What do you do as a Christian when you don't know what to do? That's a great question. In 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13, the Bible says, "Therefore prepare your minds for action, keep sober in spirit, set your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ." All right. I had a mentor many years ago that used to say this: if your problem can be solved by taking action, then you don't have a problem. Think about that. If your problem can be solved by taking action, then you don't have a problem. You know, it's easy for people to think that this Christian life, faith, is just doing nothing and waiting for God to do something. And sometimes we are to be still and let God do what God is going to do and all of that. But even when we are being still, we are still supposed to do some things. Faith is an action in and of itself. The Bible also teaches us that faith without what is dead? Faith without works is dead. And work is obviously an action, correct? So there are some actions that we can take. And anytime I'm in a situation where there's some things that I can do, I'm going to do them. All right. I'm not going to sit there and think about all the problems and all that. Let's talk about the solution. What is it that I can actually do? Now, there are going to be times, and by the way, just stop right there. Most of your problems will be solved just like that. There's pretty much always something that can be done in your circumstance. There's usually some type of action that you actually can take, but you're sitting on. But let's just address the situations that you actually can't, or you've done all that you know that you can do. Okay, well, he addresses that again in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13 on the next part. He says, prepare your minds for action. So if I can't physically do anything, then I can mentally do something, all right? So that, why would that be important? Well, if your mind is set constantly on the worst case scenario of everything all the time, you're always thinking about the worst of this, that, and the other. Well, your mind is not in a good place, and therefore your heart is not in a good place. You're not in a good place. So he's telling you to prepare your minds for actions, and then he's going to give you these actions. He says, keep sober in your spirit. So pay attention to what you're thinking about. Are you constantly focused on the negative, or are you focused on the positive? Are you focused on what God can do and not on what the enemy might be doing in your situation? Then he says, your hope, or set your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. So when Jesus reveals himself in your situation, that you're going to find that grace that is going to be brought to you, and set your mind on that. So in other words, set your mind on the blessing that you know is automatically going to come. You don't know when the blessing is going to come, but it's going to come. All right. So what do we do now? We focus on that. We focus on that positive. We stay in that mindset. And I'm telling you, life is so much better. I've met so many Christians that stay sour all the time, and I don't see how you live that way. All right. If that's you today, sweeten up. Put some sugar in your tea and make it sweet tea today. All right.